All right, we're back. Let's get recording this one before we get too many more of these in us, all right?
Yes, please.
Well, let's get into it.
Let's go.
Yo, 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 yo. Yo, step right in, it's a funky display. Talking shit, today's the vibe we portray. No filters, no rules, just letting it flow. Strap in, folks, it's the shit show. Welcome to the shit show, buckle up tight. We're dropping raw truth, keeping it light. Laughs and chaos, that's how we play. Talking shit today, all night, all day. All day. Yo, step right in, it's a funky display. Talking shit, today's the vibe we portray. No filters, no rules.
Welcome back, Lumpy.
Welcome back, X.
Episode 16. Where you at?
The 1-6 in the house.
1-6. Man, I can't believe that we got past 10. Actually, you know what? Let me take a step back. I fucking believe it because I've already seen episode 116.
Okay.
So, that said, I'm grateful.
I wonder if we can
here.
put like a microphone in my coffin.
I mean, we're going to have to. We're going to have to put the sound stuff so that way you can edit it and make us sound decent too.
Yeah,
so
that's true. You're going to have to put a laptop, power cord,
we'll see what AI can do by that point.
Yeah, I know, right?
So, no, but all good, man. So, what you been up to in the last couple weeks?
Well, like last week, trying to keep my pants on, but, this week I'm trying to keep my pants, my shoes, and my soul about me.
Oh, man. Your soul about you. That doesn't sound very good. Tell me what's going on, brother.
Rough week. Work. It's not that bad. I'm probably making it a little worse than it really is, but...
We all feel what we feel.
Yeah.
It's all good.
It was a good week. We just had a lot of people out at work vacations and sick, and, I wasn't able to do my own job. I had to fill in for other people's jobs, but that's okay. That's what I'm there for.
Well, I can kind of sort of echo what you're saying, except for the fact that I will be on my third 4-day week in the last 4 weeks I've been working.
Fuck you.
I know. But dance competition and, so we got that going on this weekend. We had that going on 2 weekends ago. No, last weekend, because we were on Friday, Saturday, and then we were getting crispy and then had some time off for the kids' spring break and then back to work and dealing with the crispy. Let me just say crispy. Dude, I didn't just get crispy. I got lobstery. Like, it was the same kind of sunburn I had almost way back to when I had my wife and I went to Jamaica.
You got lobstered.
Oh, man, did we. So, still dealing with some of the pain, even though we're a week after it. So,
well, you're very white.
I am very pale. Yes, sir. Melanin incomplete, I have heard.
Void of the melanin.
Yes, I am. So, but all in all, I would say that I don't feel dead for the week. I feel like things have been going well. I would say that between the vacation that the kids had, they had a lot of fun. We also got to go and attend a Hansel and Gretel opera.
That was fun.
That was fun.
Girls did great.
That's the word I'll use. So just some backstory. Our girls had the opportunity to participate in a production that was being put on by a local college. And I had no idea that this was a singing engagement.
Oh, yeah.
Not just singing. This wasn't like show tunes. This is opera.
It was operatic.
So, and it was the Hansel and Gretel story told in a different way than I might have seen before. And our girls got to play a ballet in the kind of middle of it.
Yep.
So that was really fun to watch.
It was.
They
Very
had
proud
2
of
shows, and I only got to watch one.
Same here.
So
Wifey went to both.
Yeah. Well, I mean, someone's got to take them there.
This is true.
So there's that. And then both you and I have some things that are going on this week that are kind of big to us.
Oh, yeah.
So tomorrow, me and the wifey, we're celebrating 2 decades.
Well, I got, like this show, 16 years.
That's incredible,
Sweet
man.
16, baby girl.
Sweet 16.
I'm still here.
2 decades of that big giant ball and chain. I mean, heavenly bliss with my significant other.
Oh, my wife is the best.
So all I can say is that if you happen to be lucky enough to be attached, then, I hope you're enjoying your time. If you're lucky enough to be single and you're enjoying that, enjoy that too. I'm hoping that more people get to enjoy their circumstance. today's show, we've got some good stuff to get into. We have a distillery that we've got 3 expressions that are going to fight each other. No, only one can come out on top.
Oh my.
Oh my. Yes. So we have got that going on. We had somebody who was going to join us that decided to flake out, and they're going to laugh when they hear that. And then just some real quick housekeeping for everybody. Hey, wherever you're listening, go ahead and drop a like and subscribe. Remember that you can find us anywhere you find your podcast, but we're also on TikTok. We're also on the Instagram socials, so out on IG. We're going to be on Facebook, I think. I don't know if I love being on Facebook or not, to be honest with you. But
I don't know.
But we'll be there because there are people on Facebook, and I'm going to make a soiree out onto X.
Are they bookers?
Bookers. I love bookers.
Oh, yeah. Bookers.
Am I getting distracted?
Yes.
Okay.
Moving on.
Yeah, peanuts. Anyway, so you're going to find us wherever you find your socials, and we've got a lot of fun clips that are going out, and we got a lot of fun ways to find us. But please do like, follow, comment, share. Let us know that you're there. Let us know what you want to hear. Let us. We've actually been publishing these episodes now with polls. So let us know, like the last poll was basically, do you still collect trading cards? Is this something that's important to you? Because Bourbon Don, he's got a great thing going, and everybody needs to get these bourbon trading cards. So
what's up, Bourbon Don?
I think that it's important. Plus, it helps us. So if you're sitting there and enjoying the show, let somebody else know. And because we always make a point to focus on men's mental health.
And just to add to that, I want to make sure before we get into this is that everyone out there knows the National Suicide Prevention Hotline. The number is 988. If you're having feelings of any kind, please reach out to them. You can text, chat, call. Again, National Suicide Prevention Hotline. The number is 988. If you know somebody who may be struggling, give that number to them. We need you here to talk shit today with us.
Absolutely. Giving up's not an option.
No.
All right. So some of the things that we're going to get into, and I really can't wait because I've heard some fantastic things. I've got 3 expressions from a company called Wood Hat, and this is blue corn.
Blue, da da dee.
I know. Every time that's what I think about every time. So I've got 3 different blue corn expressions. They're all above 60% ABV.
Nice.
So we're going to get into this, and we're going to talk about those, see which of these 3 batches kind of comes out on top. And we might be introducing a new to the world grand rating scale.
Ooh, the TST rating scale. Let's go.
Absolutely. I hope people love it. And then I think today you're bringing to us an Am I the Asshole segment?
I got a good one. It's a short one, but it's a good one.
I cannot wait. And then, of course, we've got to get into some of the reasons why we're even on this show.
Okay.
As we talk about mental health. So we'll get into that.
I like it.
Everybody buckle up. Let's go ahead and let's get into it.
Let's go.
What's in the glass? What's in the glass? Sip slow, talk slick, make the good times last. Clink it one time, then we run that track. Talking shit today, what's in the glass? 2 mics, 1 vibe, big grin in the room. Notes in the air like a baseline groove. Swell sniff, sip, then the truth gets passed. We don't start the show till we answer. What's in the glass?
All right, let's go ahead and start with what's in our glass, Lumpy.
What's in our glass today, X?
Right now, nothing, but there's about to be something called...
That's what I'm talking about.
Absolutely.
Get or get off the pot.
Damn Skippy.
Pour me a goddamn drink.
Oh my God. I love that. All right, so what I have for us today is an expression from a company called Wood Hat. This is called Bourbon Rubenesque. Really pretty bottle, too.
Yeah.
Why don't you take one of those bottles and inspect it and give me your thoughts. This is a mostly typical mash bill, as I understand, except instead of using yellow corn, it's using blue corn. And that's true for each of these 3 batches that are here.
It's corn.
We've got a batch 246, and you've got batch 357 and batch 358 all in there. And I have to give credit to Big Bourbon Mike for suggesting that these are bangers and that we need to go look at it. And interestingly enough, we'll put that banger statement to the test.
I like it. Thanks, Mike.
So looking at here, I'm going to go ahead and read some facts because I sure as shit don't have this committed to memory. So this is founded by Gary Heingardner. If I mispronounced your name, Gary, I'm sorry. In New Florence, Missouri in 2013. And yes, the gentleman actually wears a wooden hat. It's a carbon neutral option. Interesting. Running only wood fire stills in the United States, powered by, running the only wood-fired still in the United States, powered by scrap wood from a nearby stave mill.
Oh, right on.
Using geothermal energy for temperature control. Fair. Let's see here. These are all single-barrel cask strength batches. So, gotta love that. You want to remind the folks at home just exactly what cask strength is?
Absolutely. That's straight out of the barrel, not cut, not watered down. It is literally out of the barrel into the bottle.
There we go. And then as we look at this here, so wood hat, so this is a true field to glass expression made with heirloom blue corn that wood hat personally bred to enhance flavor and mouthfeel. Grains are kept whole throughout the entire process, contributing to a robust, full-bodied profile. Barrels are made from 3-year air-dried oak, which lets flavor develop without the tannic bite of freshly dried wood. We have 3 expressions here. One comes in at 65.1 ABV or 130.2 proof. The next one comes in at 64.5 ABV, which is 129 proof. And then the final one comes in at 63.1 ABV or 126.2 proof. So as we are proof whores, I think this is right within our range and we absolutely love it.
I'm a proof whore.
And I have been lucky enough that we've had several different yellow corn expressions, including one that I had a couple years ago from Christmas, which was from Cody Hill, a distillery out in Iowa.
Mm-hmm.
And they were 100% yellow corn. And that was like drinking cornbread that's alcoholic. It was so good. And then we've had the purple corn, of course.
Oh, yeah.
The didymium from Iron Cask.
What's up, homie?
So we're going to go ahead and try Ryan's batch 4 at some point in time. I can't wait. So some of the tasting notes that are supposed to be in here. Do you want to know about the tasting notes or do you want to try it first?
I think I'd like to try it, and then we'll go over the tasting notes. How's that sound?
Fair. All right, so let's go ahead and select one of these at random, and we're going to employ our new rating scale.
So let's tell the people about the rating scale. Can we do that?
I think we can say something about the rating scale. We're going to buy the fucking thing. All right, so we are going to go ahead, and we've actually had some conversations about what people rate.
How many cats' assholes is it?
Right. It's like...
Or how many lightning bolts is one I heard?
How many lightning bolts? 3.275 lightning bolts.
Suck it.
So...
Come on. Really?
We have really good friends that they rate them out of a 10-point scale, but then somebody inevitably chimes in with like, well, I think this is a 7.26. It's like 7.26.
What would make it a 7.27?
Right. Or what actually would compel it to get to a 7.5 or an 8. And I think what people, they're reluctant to give too much and they're reluctant to give too little. Right. You don't want to shit on somebody's work unless it's shitty. Bland's.
And Bland's is not shitty.
No. Just Bland's is okay by itself. It's just not a good value.
It's just overrated.
Yes. But Evan Williams Green Label. So sorry, I do have some I think are shitty. But anyway, so I think that people, they want to not overcommit. Honestly, I think that's what it boils down to. And so we put some thought to, and this is an evolving thing, so
Indeed.
This is probably not our final, but we put some thought into a rating scale that would let us know kind of what we think about something. And it correlates to how things are rated, say, for the San Francisco bourbon
whiskey.
What do we call that? The San Francisco bourbon contest or
whatever it is.
Yeah, we'll find that out. So in other competitions where bourbon is assessed by professional tasters, I want that job.
Yes,
so
please.
These are people with very sophisticated palates that can taste all sorts of things that my basic bitch palate just can't.
The sommeliers of whiskey.
There you go. So, and that's a wine term, right? Sommelier?
I guess.
Oh, okay. I thought it was.
It sounds good.
You uttered the word. I thought you would know.
Yeah, man. We'll call them sommeliers of whiskey. How's that?
There we go.
I don't know what else to call them.
There we go. So, and that's out of a 100-point scale. We've seen lots of people do 10-point scales. Sometimes it's just a, do you like it or not? Sometimes it's, like it tastes like a gorilla's asshole. So, and we might know that from personal experience. So what we have come up with is a simple scale that just simply says it tastes like dog shit. This is garbage. It's meh. It's okay. Solid. Thinks a lot of things that are okay are solid. This is a banger, and it's legendary. And we're going to go ahead and ask on the appearance, the nose, the palate, and the finish. And then we're also going to ask on value, but value I don't think can really count for the overall score. So we'll get into that. So let's go ahead and get into our expressions here. And I just happen to grab this one first.
I see you've already dropped the panties on all three.
Well, the great thing about these is that they didn't come with very hard panties to remove. So I love that.
Dirty little bitches.
All right. So picking up this wood hat single barrel cask strength bourbon Rubenesque. This one clocks in at 65.1 ABV, and this is batch 246. Ready?
Yep. All over you.
Oh. That's a light pour because it needs to be. We have a couple more of these to get through. There you go, sir.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you.
So we'll set this one to the side, and we're going to take the time and effort to rate this as we go. So, Lumpy, I'm going to ask you first.
Yep.
Let's start with the appearance.
Beautiful color.
Switch this around, look at the color, look at the legs. And when you think about legs, what do you think about? Sheer energy legs? you have to be a certain age to with the egg.
We won't describe that. People who know, if you know, you know.
If you know, you know. You
when it comes to legs, you can see it. When you swirl it in the glass, and you can see the viscosity of the juice as it should slowly run down.
How long it takes to actually come down, and the difference between the dry spot and the wet spot on the glass, that you can see a line there.
I like the wet spot.
Good man, good man.
So my first impression, and usually it takes about 30 seconds to really get to see the legs, or the fingers, as some people call it.
Sure.
It's got good legs.
Mm-hmm.
The appearance of the juice itself is very nice. I like that dark, rich.
It is very dark. Yep, not light
brownish,
at all.
Not like mahogany, amber colored. I'm going to give this one.
So, dog shit, garbage, meh, solid, banger, or legendary?
I'm going to go with legendary.
Legendary. I'm going to go ahead and stick with the banger, but I do think it's very good. All right, our next category here is on the nose. Now, my sinuses are famously shit, but...
You sound like a whale fucking exhaling.
And that was me inhaling.
Indeed.
How about that?
That's my point. Don't exhale.
Don't you have a problem, like, inhaling with your mouth open, too? That's how you're supposed to, like, take everything in.
Hold on, let me try that.
Maybe we did warm up with a few too many.
Could be.
Now, only for the fact that we've got two more of these to get through. What do you rate on the nose here? Legendary, banger, solid, meh. And I won't go further because I know it's not any of those. And you know what? I'll go first on this. On the nose, I would give this a solid banger.
I concur, Doctor.
All right. Now it's time for us to taste.
Yes.
So on the palate. Wow.
Holy shit.
Wow. And I'm wowing not because this is fantastically good. It is good. I'm wowing because it's different. Like when we had the Didymium, that was very different. When we had Three Witches, that was very different.
When we had the 13th Colony.
That was very different. This is not the 13th colony.
And this is why I stopped drinking vodka.
Because
and that's
it was
not
all
a
the
joke.
same?
Because there's nowhere to go with vodka. It's like you could have 50.
There's a perfect
60.
vodka.
Oh, there's a few.
Yeah. But it's like...
And we'll do that in another show 50 times away. So...
Oh my goodness.
I got to sip that one again.
All right. So I have to talk about what I'm getting on the palate too, not just the rating. So this one has a darker feel, not a fruit feel. Like dark fruit. Understand when you are tasting plum or, nectarines or things like that. This is not that. This is like a taro root, like a dark vanilla, like a...
Taro root?
Yeah.
Where'd you fucking pull that one out of?
You've never had taro root? Like in boba tea and things like that?
No.
No? Okay, well.
I don't like things that pop in my mouth.
Taro root doesn't have to pop.
But boba does.
The bobas do, yeah. Well, unless the bobas I get don't pop.
You don't get the popping boba?
No, I just get the regular old, like...
Tapioca?
Yeah.
Tapioca boba?
So I will give a little bit of background on this. I was told by somebody that they thought this was just okay when they've tried this before. But I got to say, you definitely need to try this again. At least these batches. These are fantastic.
Wow.
And this is just the first. We've got 2 more of these to get into.
Odin?
I can tell you that one of the blue corns that I've been trying to get into is the Still Austin blue corn, but you cannot find it around here. These folks were willing to ship. And I can tell you, when we get to the value proposition, the value of these were great.
What's MSRP on at least the first bottle that we got here?
You have to be careful asking that on something my wife can listen to, sir.
And she's not going to listen.
You're probably right.
So you're safe. I like that.
That's really good.
I like
It's
that.
different, though. It's not really good in a...
It's different. That's that for me, that's it in a nutshell. It is different. Again, another reason I stopped drinking vodka.
Yeah,
I was fucking bored. I don't mix. I was a vodka straight guy, and I was a vodka snob, so I was like on it.
Okay.
And I was like, there's really nowhere else to go.
But what I will say is that this is, it's got a bit of a smoky flavor to it.
Absolutely.
It is not sweet, which is typical of a bourbon. A bourbon, for me, most of the time has like a cinnamon or a caramel or a butterscotch flavor to it. For some reason, this particular batch, I don't get any sweetness, which you normally get out of like a high corn.
Yeah.
So... I'm going to have to really look up the mash bill on this because I was just taking for granted that it's got a regular mash bill. But this is fantastic for not being super sweet. All right. So, right?
Son of a bitch.
So, Mr. Lumpy.
Sir.
Legendary. Banger. Solid. I won't go lower than that because I know it's one of those 3.
I'm going to say legendary on this. This is really fucking good.
I'm going to go with the same on that. And remember, we still have 2 more bottles to get into.
Hopefully we have 2 more legendary ratings to give it.
All right. On the finish.
The finish is unreal. Again, unlike anything I've ever had, I can taste the corn.
And I have to keep going in on the nose.
Oh, yeah.
To be honest, like I'm constantly going into this glass.
To go back to the reason I stopped drinking vodka, same reason I don't drink tequila. Every tequila I've ever had, whether it has a different little bit of a front side, the finish on tequila for me is always the same.
Oh, this has got such a long finish, dude. Seriously, I'm going right to legendary with the finish on this one.
Unreal. Legendary for me.
Okay. Now, for the value, knowing that the MSRP on these bottles are $100 a bottle.
Legendary.
So I'm going to downgrade because if this is a $40 bottle, that's legendary all day long.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
So this is just my basis of thinking, not yours.
Okay, so
if I were spending $100 on bourbon, you could get 2 bottles of Rare Breed.
True.
2 bottles of Russell's 10.
All right, so this is why I'm going to give it legendary.
You could get 5 bottles of Benchmark Full Proof.
Oh. You had to go there.
Right? So that's what I'm saying. Like,
you had to go there.
And by the way, so the audience knows, value does not change the overall score. So
I'm giving it legendary because
I'm going to give it solid myself. You're going to give it legendary. Don't change what you're doing.
Well, I'm trying to justify it, but give me legendary. Fuck it. I don't care. That's fine.
You get
but
legendary.
I'm going to describe it anyway.
Go for it.
So I'm giving it legendary because this is not a bottle we can find on our shelves here in Florida.
Fair.
And if we could find it here on our shelves in Florida, it would probably be a $40 or $50 bottle. Maybe $70. But I don't think there's anything here in the state that I know of that will come close to this, that we can just run into our local liquor store, wherever that be. And
I know that Blue Note is one that has a blue corn. I also know others that are like Smoke Eye Hill has a blue corn. And there are other expressions that have blue corn in them, but that's the feature of this.
That's really good, man.
So listen, Wood Hat, you guys are doing a fantastic job, and I've only gotten into 1 bottle.
Why are you so selfish? You're like I've. It's all about me. It's all about X.
So let me go ahead and give the TST score. You ready?
Fire away,
drum roll, please. Legendary. All right. Let's see if the other 2 stack up just the same. So, Lumpy, you ready to go into the next batch?
I am.
All right.
Let's go.
This is batch 358. This is at the 63.1 ABV, which is almost the highest, but not quite.
So we're going up in ABV as we go.
We are. Ready?
Fire away. Ow! All over you, motherfuckers!
All right. You got to be gentle with these pours, just knowing.
Yes, please.
All right. So.
All right.
We said this is batch 358.
358, man.
Everything else is about the same. So.
You know what we haven't done?
What's that? There we go.
I always have to edit those out because they don't ever turn out well for some reason.
The clings?
Yeah.
That's all right.
Still fun to do.
Oh, of course it is. All right. So the next rating.
Ooh.
Now that we are used to our appearance on this one, legendary, banger, solid.
So I'm going to go ahead and give this one a solid because this is not as rich and dark as the other one. It's still very dark, but it is definitely not, well.
I was going to say, I don't know about that.
It's pretty close,
personally.
Actually.
I'm giving this a banger myself. You can go with solid, sure.
I'm going to go with a banger.
You can go with banger? Okay. All right. So we'll go to the next category here. Let's nose it. Honestly, the ethanol picks up a bit.
Rightfully so. The ABV went up. Hold on. Let me open my mouth. Do you ever seen a dog smell something and it looks like they're going...
Or a cat when they go like...
Yeah. And I could be wrong in this number, but a dog has like 5,000 scent receptors in the top of their mouth.
Oh, I have
it looks
no
like
idea.
They're tasting the air? Well, they are.
Sure. Just like a snake. Dogs and snakes. You never knew that they were so close.
My dog is a snake.
And I know your dog.
Little bastard. He's cool, though. Hank's awesome.
Hank is awesome. I agree. All right. So, what are you going to give the nose on this one? Legendary, banger, or solid? I don't suspect you're going to go down to meh or lower.
No, I'm going to give this one a thorough solid. No, I'm going to give this a banger. Give it a banger. This is a banger because it's no less than the first one we sampled.
That is really good on the nose. So I too gave it a banger. On the palate,
let's go.
I got to say, I'm super excited to taste these.
God damn.
Gosh.
Wood hat's off to you.
Seriously, man. That
Good
is
job.
Fantastic. Gary, let me just speak to you personally. Sir, thank you very much for taking good care of the grains that you're putting into the mash bill. That is a flavor that is unique and different, and I don't think I've had anything that shares that flavor profile. Between both of the batches that I've had so far, they're both really fantastic. And I think that's a credit to the craftsmanship of the care that you're putting into it. Now, I don't know the specific differences other than the higher proof between those batches. So I will just say that these are fantastic and really good on you for what you're doing.
And Gary, this is Lumpy, as you've probably already listened, if you're listening. You have a unique product. And to second what the General just said, this is incredible. Absolutely incredible. I have never had another whiskey that comes even really close. I mean, we've had a few that are close, but
in
not
the flavor
like
profile?
This. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, this is definitely in its own category.
And thank you. We are truly sitting here enjoying this
absolutely
tonight.
The smokiness of this, the richness of it, and somehow you're pulling off such a rich flavor without like an overwhelming sweetness to it.
This second one has better legs.
So, on the palate, Mr. Lumpy.
Legendary.
Legendary. I agree with you on that. And then finally on the finish.
Legendary. Sorry, I didn't need to wait on that one. There was no thinking.
I'm going to take one more little sip. I would say that the first one feels like it has a longer finish.
I disagree with that.
And it can only be for the fact that I just had it, and now my palate's a little more used to the profile.
I think the finish on this is substantially longer and better and much different. The first one, and this is not negative, the first one, I tasted corn. I mean, like when I paused and I waited, whether it was a minute or so, it's like I tasted, it's like almost like eating not a corn chip, but like a tortilla.
Okay.
Like a homemade, like fresh tortilla.
Sure.
And I don't get the corn so much on this one.
Okay.
I get a little more, well, I get the corn. It's a little more smoky, like a smoky corn, almost like a street corn.
Oh, fair. So then I have you on the finish. What do I have you on value? Still legendary?
Yeah.
Same price point, same as the other bottle?
I'm going for it.
All right. This continues to be legendary, according to the TST scale.
God damn, that's good.
Sir, are you ready to rate another one?
Don't threaten me with a good time.
Would you like to crack that one, Lumpy?
I would love to. All right.
Read off the label for us.
All right. So the final Bourbon Rubenesque. This is the Wood Hat Cask Strength. 64.5% alcohol. Ooh.
The highest proof for us.
Highest proof. All right. You ready, X?
I am ready.
I'm going to drop this like it's hot.
You're going to drop it like it's hot.
We're going to drop it like it's hot.
Oh,
all over you and the rest of your family.
Oh, boy. All right. So we have a very nice, modest pour in here because we need that. This is actually, I think, darker than the rest.
It is.
And I really don't know how that's possible because, to my knowledge, they all have very similar mash bills. So I'll have to correct that on our next episode.
That definitely looks darker.
It looks darker, and the legs, oh my gosh. It's like smearing butterscotch around your glass.
Holy shit, look at that.
They don't move, dude. It's almost like this glass will never be empty.
Those legs don't move.
All right. Well, I'm going to give these legs legendary. So legendary, banger, or solid. What are you picking, sir?
I'm still staring at those legs. Holy shit. Yeah, I'm gonna give it legendary.
Okay. Ready for the nose? Spicy. And I've certainly nosed things more spicy than this. I did stick my nose right into that Wyatt Earp.
I am a Wood Hat fanboy.
My goodness, yes. That is fantastic.
Woodhat, you did it again. You did it again.
On the nose, what do you want to rate it?
Legendary.
I'm going to go with banger, only for the fact that if I can be critical about anything, is that the ethanol does burn a little bit more on this. And you know what, though? Diamas would tell us we're just drinking out of the wrong glass. All right. So, ready to go in for a palate? That's sweet for the first time. I have butterscotch on that. Oh my God. Butterscotch? That darkness that we've been getting from the other expressions? The stickiness? And I shouldn't go into the finish already, but my goodness. The way that coats the palate? Dude.
I think I just blacked out for a second.
I know where I'm going legendary on this one. This is fantastic.
Holy shit.
And you know what? There are other expressions I've had.
I got to put that down.
That are going to be at the same level of legendary, but they're different. They're in a different category. They cannot be compared. My goodness, that is fan-fucking-tastic.
Holy shit.
Dude, Gary, we got to talk, man. Holy shit, what are you doing? That is...
Dude, what kind of witchcraft are you using to make this? I'm literally speechless. I'm my brain, and I've said this in past episodes, with my senses, my brain is trying to catch up with what's going on in my mouth. That was unreal.
That's a really good one. On the palate, to me, that is the top of the 3 batches that we've had.
All right, so this is going to sound really crazy.
Okay.
The finish for me right now, and I haven't taken a sip in well over a minute and a half, maybe 2 minutes.
Okay. Well, we're not on the finish yet, so palate legendary?
Legendary.
All right, now finish. Go.
To me, it's almost nostalgic on the flavor because it almost reminds me of the taste as a kid of real root beer.
Okay.
Or sarsaparilla.
Okay. Or taro root.
Fuck you and your taro root. Jesus Christ, X.
So, by the way, this one is not your typical mash bill. I just looked it up. So it is listed as 75% blue corn and 25% wheat.
Holy
Sir,
shit.
you're going to have to rethink your entire wheat profile.
You know what? Okay. And I'm getting... So let's go back to... And this is worthy of keep talking about this.
Sure.
I'm getting... I don't know if they use any maple in this at all. Oh, Jesus Christ, X.
So the maple's going to be on you because I don't see any maple. But I will say on batch number 357, there is a sweetness that does not exist on the other 2 batches.
So at home, I have a bourbon barrel finished maple syrup. This smells almost like that.
Okay.
I will say this, and I'm saying this on our show.
Okay.
Hands down, this is probably one of the best whiskeys, bourbons I've ever had.
Wow.
That's my palate.
Sure.
Gary, can I marry you?
Well, let me just say this. So first off, thank you very much for Mike Rowland, Big Bourbon Mike, for recommending in the Whiskey Warrior group that we should even look at this. Because this is really fantastic. And again, I think this is a testament to your palate and your opinion on what good bourbon is. So,
and obviously, it's very subjective.
Oh, of course.
And for my palate, holy shit, does that work?
Yes.
And Odin, dude.
Try it again.
Please.
Yeah. And if you need to wait to get these batches to try, just let us know. We got you. So, Lumpy, on the finish.
Legendary.
Legendary on the finish. I'm going to agree.
Is there like a legendary, just keep hitting legendary.
Well, I will say that as we go through, this is also legendary, and all three expressions were legendary. So batch 357 comes in as the winner amongst all three of them.
I would have never have guessed.
And I have to say that it was really, really good in its own category. And I will say this, that comparing this to, say, a short barrel expression that we just had, that Cherry Bomb.
Oh, yeah.
That was really great in its own right? I don't know if you can fairly compare these two. If you had to do a blind tasting between the two, you might think differently about things, and that's okay. I will say that the way that this one adds up, just amongst these three batches, 357 knocks it out of the park. And not just because it's higher proof, it's the first one that introduces a new flavor element to it.
Oh, yeah.
The blue corn by itself was fantastic. Smoky, dark, different, not sweet. Then all of a sudden, the higher proof one throws in this layer of butterscotch that just simply didn't exist in the other two. My goodness, man, that was fantastic.
Holy hell.
Let me just say, I very much appreciate what we went through.
Oh, yeah.
That was fantastic.
Gary, good job, buddy. Good job.
Well, I think that our enthusiasm for these drinks is a really great segue into our next segment.
What's that? Let's go.
As we talk about men's mental health, let's do a check-in real quick.
Oh, yeah, man.
I'm going to go first, and I'm going to kind of talk about my own stress. So work has me stressed. Life has me stressed. I think being stressed is a regular part of life.
It is, for sure.
And especially if you are a person who is, even in the modern sense, running a household.
Okay.
And I mean that in the modern sense because in the 1950s sense, the man ran the household. The woman saw to the household, but the man was in charge. Or at least that's the popular opinion from the 1950s. Somewhere between then and now, things may have changed depending on the household.
Was that back in the days when they used to have like tuna aspic or tuna casseroles of shit you used to love?
You would have to mention the aspics. That's really funny. But it is, and yes, to answer your question directly. So Lumpy is going through and having some orgasmic responses right now as he added a little bit of water to that batch 357. And he's enjoying life.
Definitely all over you.
So life definitely carries stress.
Yeah.
My job definitely carries stress. My regular life is more stressful than my work life. I am busier personally than I am professionally. And that's kind of the running joke that I have because I've got 2 kids in dance. I've got the normal regular taking care of the household. My wife is very dedicated to her profession. So with all of that, I feel a heavy responsibility to do my part to take care of things at the house, but also step up and kind of direct what's going on in the house.
Understood.
And that's taken me a while to get to be honest with you, because I have not really looked at my role in the house as being one who runs what's going on in the house. And even now, not necessarily is that the case. But I do drive things. And I'm kind of looked at as a person who needs to drive what's going on in the house. So the stress that I feel is very real. I certainly feel stress from school. I feel stress from being prepared for things like what we're doing today. I feel stress from needing to make sure that my kids are cared for, that my wife is cared for, that I'm cared for. I'm working really hard on prioritizing myself to make sure that I'm caring for myself as well as those around me.
Very important.
So with that carries a lot of stress. For you, what is the stress in your life?
Well, I will kind of echo what you just said, because I don't have 2 children. but I have one child, and I have those same things, personal life, dance, work. Well, really, you just kind of said what I have. I understand that completely. I mean, that's huge. Not sure what else I can say about that. I mean, that was a nutshell. I mean, we kind of do the same shit. It's work. Well, I don't have school. I did that once. I went to school full time,
sure,
while working 60 hours a week.
Yeah.
So
I get that.
I understand that stress. It's not like I'm numb to that. So I get it, and I feel for you, actually. So really, the same stressors.
So let's tie this back to what we set up at the intro.
Yeah.
The men's mental health segment ties right back to kind of why we're here. And what is this show about? Bourbon, dad life, Gen X life, dance dad life, men's mental health.
Yeah.
Kind of all those things, plus
sure.
whatever else we happen to pepper in. And bourbon drinking is a mechanism that we all look at to help. But the question that I have for everybody, and this is for everybody in the audience, and I really want you to think about this, and Lumpy, same for you.
I'm thinking.
There's a difference between enjoying bourbon and using bourbon.
Good
So
call.
A lot of men don't necessarily think about why they drink. And I think it's okay to drink. And I think it's okay to drink to relax. I think it's okay to drink to get away. I think it's okay to alter your mental state to a degree that is an escape from your stress.
Yeah, sure.
I personally think that those are okay, providing that it does not monopolize your life. That is what encroaches you on alcoholism.
Agreed.
And when alcoholism takes over, that kind of addiction, you are no longer in control over your relationship with whatever your vice happens to be.
Sure.
And so my challenge out to the audience is, what is your relationship to this thing that we all love? So, Lumpy, question back to you. What is your relationship to bourbon, and how does it help abate the stressors in your life? How does it help to enhance the relationships in your life? How does it help you relax, unwind, socialize? And have you ever thought about it as a concern for how you deal with the pressures of your life?
So this is my take on it. Obviously, I enjoy bourbon because I'm sitting here drinking with you.
Yes, sir.
My favorite thing to do is have a pour with a friend, which you and I do quite frequently.
We do.
And sure, it's fun to get hammered.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? It's part of, well, this will be multi-layered. So having the drinks with a good friend, it helps you relax.
Sure.
It helps you unwind. It helps you be with the bros and have those conversations. It allows you to release your inhibitions, to not be so uptight, to be able to talk to people you love and care about, tell them some of your issues.
Sure.
Some people think that's a weakness, which we've talked about.
We have. Yep.
And at that point, it opens up conversation. And conversation, once you stop talking, it's all over. Well,
and let me add to what you were just saying. So oftentimes for men, the idea of self-medicating is a very private idea.
For sure.
So if there is pain in your life, if there is stress in your life, which likely leads to pain, your painkiller can be whatever it happens to be. And we'll use bourbon for now because that's kind of a main topic of our show.
Sure.
If you're using bourbon as a painkiller and you are not talking to your brothers, and brothers are not related by blood, Your brothers are the people in your life, especially the men in your life, that are there to, as we've talked about before, to call you out on your shit, to listen when you need to be listened to let you cry if you need to cry.
Yeah.
That are there to make fun of you when you need that. Because
we do that with each other all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that it is a very common thing in general for men to self-medicate quietly. And that's not necessary. I think that medicating, if that's what you're doing with bourbon, going back to the question on do you enjoy bourbon or do you use bourbon? I think if you are in the point where you're using bourbon, perhaps you should think about alternatives that can help give you the same kind of feeling that bourbon is giving you.
Yeah.
Whether it's brotherhood or other relationships or going out on a walk, right? Communing with nature or going to the gym and hitting your new personal record or whatever it is that happens to push you to a point where you can feel grateful for where you're at or proud of what you've done.
Yeah, I agree. Those are good points.
Those are all things that are important in this idea, but I think it is also okay, and I don't want to raise a stigma about drinking.
No.
Because in general, most people are able to drink without it being problematic.
Yeah, it's one of those things, if you're a social drinker, and if you only drink when you go out, and there's problems associated with that as well.
Sure.
I get it. The bigger problem is if you go home and you're drinking by yourself, and you're drinking and getting hammered all by yourself,
sure,
just to escape reality,
you might want to reach out to a bro at that point.
You might want to question your freshness.
So, let me ask you this, Lumpy. What then do you reach out to as a healthy escape in life that's not a bottle?
Cunnilingus.
Yes, 100%. So, yes, I would say that leaning on the relationships you have in life, whether they are with your children, whether they are with your lover, whoever they happen to be, or I really think that your bros, the men in your life, and that's kind of what we center on, are integral.
Sure. Oh,
they
absolutely.
are keystone in every sense of the definition of what a keystone is. A keystone, for most people, just in case you don't know explicitly, is like a cornerstone. It is the brick that
holds an arch together.
Correct. It holds the arch together. It is the
final stone.
The brick that holds the entire architecture of a structure together. And people are our keystones.
Of course.
They are the things that keep us together. And when you go at things alone, that's where it becomes problematic.
You're not alone.
When you go at things with your bros, if you have a significant other, with your significant other, and honestly, even with your kids, and you're not necessarily laying the weight of your burdens on your kids. Instead, you are being fed by the energy of your children. And I can say this firsthand that when life is tough outside of my family, my children, and my wife are the thing that ground me in what I love about being around.
Well said, sir.
So,
well said.
Let me just finish with this then. This is the kind of conversation that we all need to share with one another. Whether you're reaching out to your bro, and you are absolutely one of my absolute besties.
Aw.
Whether you're reaching out to your family, I think it's important that you don't let sleeping dogs lie. I think it's important that you actually say something.
Yeah.
We talk about it all the time about saying that things are not going well because you don't want to give the wrong impression that everything's fine. And we all know what fine means, right?
F-I-N-E, fine.
Yep.
That's right. If you know, you know.
If you know, you know. So if everything's fine in your life, okay, share it with at least one of those people. Family, friends, bros, anybody else. Just don't keep it to yourself. And if you decide to drink, be social about it. Drink with friends.
Indeed.
So, on that, cheers.
Cheers.
Lumpy.
X.
So, we got kind of deep.
We did, and we should. That's what it's about.
And we got into bottles.
A few.
So, let me offer up to you that I think you've got a story to share.
I do.
Is this a Am I the Asshole segment that we've been enjoying so much? Is there a Kyle?
There could be.
There could be. All right. I am all ears, sir.
All right. Let's go. My buddy and I have been doing a bourbon shelf together for about 3 years. We split every bottle 50-50. We pick together. We pay together. It's our thing. Last month, he texts me out of nowhere and says he wants to dissolve the shelf. He's getting into wine now and wants his share of the bottles back. Fine. We go through the list, but then he points to a bottle of George T. Stag that we bought together at Secondary 2 years ago. Paid $400 for it.
Great price.
And says he wants that one specifically. I said, I'd take the Stag and give him 2 other bottles of equal secondary value. He says no. He wants the Stag because it's the one he picked. I said, that's not how it works. We flip a coin or we do value for value. He accused me of being controlling about bourbon and said I care more about the bottle than the friendship. I told him if he's leaving the shelf, he doesn't get to cherry pick the crown jewel on the way out. We haven't talked since. Am I the asshole?
So, he and a bro, we'll call the bro Kyle, because there should always be a Kyle.
Yeah, indeed.
So, the Kyle here has said that the narrator sounds like they care more about the bottle than a friendship. Although, these rules likely should have been picked out before. I wonder if they have ever thought about what would happen if they were to, quote-unquote, dissolve the shelf like they are now.
Well, they probably didn't think about that in the moment, but just saying.
Well, and now you're getting into wine, so did you guys even talk about this up front, do you think? Is the friendship really actually over a bottle of Stag? Or does the fact that they've checked out of the thing that they built together, is that really the factor?
First of all, for me, the guy decided to go down the wine route.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's first and foremost for me. It's like, okay, well, I'm not going down the wine route. If you're not going to drink bourbon anymore,
right?
What's Stag to you?
Well, exactly. Plus, is it fair to then try to wheel and deal for all the bottles that are on the shelf and say, here, I'll give you these if I can have the Stag?
Well, his buddy offered to give him 2 of the equal value.
Yeah.
And we all know about Stag.
For sure.
The GTS.
Yeah. So, and by the way, $400 for a GTS, good for you.
What liquor store did you go to?
Right. I've never seen it for that low. But what I would say is that, am I the asshole for trying to push to get that GTS bottle when they just want to go back to wine. I do not think that the narrator here is the asshole. I think that they are fair in trying to negotiate and wheel and deal for if the GTS is the crown jewel of the collection, then yeah, it makes sense to me.
I agree.
Now, does that mean that the person who is still into bourbon is entitled to the crown jewel?
I think so.
I'm going to take a different stance on that.
Oh, God.
I'm just going to say that I don't necessarily think that they're entitled to it just because somebody else wants to get into wine. Because you've tasted GTS.
But he was going to give him 2 fair market value equals.
I've had GTS.
Uh-huh.
It's fantastic. It's one of my top 3.
Uh-huh.
So I can understand Kyle's want to have the GTS.
But if you're not going to drink bourbon anymore, you're going to drink wine. Why do you need it?
Are you sure that's all they're going to do?
I don't know about that.
Right? Like, if you decided to, like, switch your bourbon collection to a wine collection, would you give up really fantastic bourbon?
If there was equal or greater value behind it, and his friend was giving him equal or greater value to it. To a guy who's going to keep drinking bourbon, not go down the wine trail.
I think this one's really tricky.
It is.
Because
we're definitely divided here.
Let's just say, did Kyle pick that GTS bottle? According to the story, yes. So, and then did they come up with terms that would say, if we're no longer going in 50-50 on this shelf, what do we do when the shelf dissolves? And they don't have rules for it. So you're kind of on a frontier where you have to kind of like pick how things are going to go.
I'm going to close this out with the wino is the asshole. We'll call the wino Kyle.
Okay.
Fuck you, Kyle.
So I'm going to say that I think the person who is still the bourbon enthusiast can negotiate for that bottle.
Agreed.
And I think that if they're willing to give up 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever bottles to get that GTS, that negotiating is appropriate. I think that there's not the need to afford that bottle immediately to Kyle just because he picked it. Because if he's no longer part of it, then it makes sense. Like, hey, I really love this. So I'm going to trade you these things for that.
He removed himself from the equation.
He did. So
what's your final take on that, X?
I don't know if there really is an asshole in this. I think that there's an entitlement question and nobody's entitled.
So oh, Jesus. Okay.
My personal take is I think that it's okay to negotiate for that bottle.
So we have 2 assholes.
You think they're both assholes?
Well, they're fighting each other over a fucking bottle of GTS, which
I don't think that should ruin a friendship.
I might punch your mama for a bottle of GTS.
My mom will hit back.
And she would, I'm sure.
So,
right. So this is the first time we have a divided and yet unresolved "Am I the Asshole" segment.
Well, all I can say here is that I think that Kyle is an asshole, but I think it's fair to negotiate.
So what we need is people to comment on this one, because we would love to hear what you have to say.
Absolutely.
Make sure you follow, share, like us, and give us that information, because we want to hear what you think.
Yep. So, and whether you're following us on socials or whether you're on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Amazon Music, or even on YouTube, just go ahead and put a comment on there, and then we'll follow up with you and let you know what we think too.
Please.
And then, of course, talkingshittoday@gmail.com. Feel free to drop us an email, and we can continue the conversation.
And send us some hate mail if you feel you need to do that.
Hate mail is great mail.
That's right.
All right. So, what is your conclusion on this Am I the Asshole segment? Kyle is an asshole and nothing else?
Kyle's always an asshole. But my conclusion to this is, well, shit. I don't know. I'm terribly torn now because you had a compelling argument.
Okay.
We both had compelling arguments.
Sure.
And I don't know. I mean, you know, who plans on dissolving the shelf?
Right.
You know what I mean? Who plans that? No one does.
Nope.
If you got a friend and you're both dedicated into bourbon and you both did picks and you both went balls deep in 50-50 and what do you do? What do you do? It's tough. You got to really it comes down to this.
Okay.
What's it worth to you?
Fisticuffs?
Fuck, let's go outside.
All right. Well, Lumpy, I think that I agree that Kyle is the asshole here for leaving the whole arrangement and there not really being a way to exit. And then calling into question, like, you're putting a bottle over our friendship. So in that sense, I agree. But I also agree that the person who's narrating this should be able to negotiate. Yeah.
Agreed.
So as we make our way through, we've had some really great conversations today.
As always.
We have talked through some really great expressions from Wood Hat.
For sure.
Gary, thank you so much for putting this together.
Gary, we love you, man.
So
thank you.
We'll be reaching out and we'll be sharing a lot of things. So hopefully we can connect with you. Mike, thank you very much for recommending this because it was another solid recommendation.
Big Mike. Rock on, man.
We got to touch on some very important mental health issues, such as how do you cope with the stress in your life? And do you turn to drinking for that? And as much as we look at drinking as a fun social aspect of things, and we appreciate exploring what bourbon has to offer, you do need to be careful. I will say that.
Please drink responsibly.
Drink responsibly. Know what your limitations are. When you find yourself drinking alone and you prefer to be by yourself, ask yourself if there's anybody else you can invite to the conversation.
Who's coming over for a pour?
Bro, friend, family, bring somebody along because they need to be there with you.
As long as they're not winos.
As long as they're not winos. So as we make our way through, I think it's a good time for us to go ahead and I want to get your take, Lumpy, on what you think about our rating system so far. I don't think it's done. I think there's room to improve it, but
agreed.
What do you think about our dog shit to legendary rating system?
I love it.
I got to say, it's a hell of a lot of fun.
We sat out back at your house last Saturday night working this out.
Mm-hmm.
I green-lighted it all. You green-lighted it all.
Sure did.
I love it.
I think we're going to have a lot of fun with this going forward. And perhaps the Talking Shit Today rating system will make its way to others.
The TST rating system.
The
bitches.
TST rating system. So, yes, and bitches.
Let's go.
All right. So, you ready to raise a glass?
Let's raise a glass. To the guys who show up, who sit down, pour something, and actually talk.
About the hard stuff, the honest stuff, and the stuff most men never say out loud.
That takes more guts than people think.
So here's to doing it.
Cheers.
And thank you for joining us for Talking Shit Today, episode 16, motherfuckers!
Time is up, the mic's gone cold. We drop the talk real hot and bold. From Lumpy to General Lex, ain't no delay. Thanks for talking shit with us today. Hey yo, thanks for talking shit with Lumpy and X. Breaking it down till there's nothing complex. Riding the beat as we close the show. Catch you next time on the late night flow. Spin the dial, rewind the tape. We keep it real, this ain't no escape. Laughs and truth serve raw, not sweet. Mic drop, Lumpy and X bring the heat. Hey yo, thanks for talking shit with Lumpy and X. Dropping truths and making you reflect. We out like a jammer, smooth and slow. See you next time where the convos glow. Words in the air as the beat fades out. Lumpy and X, that's what we're about. So keep it locked till the very last say. Thanks for talking shit, we out today.